Evening, everybody, and welcome to the first CHC Happy Hour of 2026. We're so happy you are here, and we have a very special guest, Krista. And before I introduce her, I'm going to give you a little bit about CHC, which I'm sure you all already know. It's the only NCCA accredited homeopathic certification organization, and it offers a valid and reliable exam for certifying individuals who meet a recognized standard of professional and ethical competence in classical homeopathy, awarding the CCH designation. It's been promoting excellence through homeopathic certification since 1992. Now, a little bit about our special guest for the evening, Krista. She is a certified classical homeopath registered with the Ontario College of Homeopaths, a member of the North American Society of Homeopaths, a graduate of the Canadian College of Homeopathic Medicine. And today she's going to talk about using social media to reach families that are seeking homeopathy. With close to 30,000 followers on Instagram, she'll share her journey, what worked, and how to use social media to your advantage to grow your practice while being your authentic self. She is a classically trained homeopath and she incorporates all areas and approaches of homeopathy. After becoming frustrated with chasing symptoms and never getting answers for her son's chronic health issues, Krista discovered homeopathy, and when she witnessed the healing like never before, she had to know more. And then she went on to study and now has a successful practice. She works primarily with women and children, supporting mental, emotional, and hormonal healing. The connection of a mother with her child is like no other, and true healing begins with moms. She educates and empowers women to turn inward for their hormonal healing and is now more specialized in supporting women through the perimenopausal years as well. She's passionate about the wisdom we all hold within us and continues to be amazed at how we can access and ignite this with a homeopathic remedy to restore balance. The mind, body, heart, and soul are interconnected, and it is when they are viewed as one that the body can heal. When we become empowered from within our physical body, when we become empowered from within, our physical body can respond and harmony is restored. I'm going to share her website, Instagram, and email in the chat, but now I'm going to give it over to Krista. Krista, it's all yours. Thank you so much for being with us. So I'm
Thank
going to stop
you.
share and I'm going to let you share.
Okay. Well, thank you. And hello, everybody. Um, yeah, at first I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And so I did put something together. And so I hope this does resonate. And let me start sharing, first of all, make sure we got this. We did practice beforehand. Okay. So I'm assuming it's all good. Yashi,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
So yeah, I was asked to come and talk, and again, growing our practice, and I don't know if we're all CCHs here or not, and if we've been practicing or just starting. So I hope wherever you are in this journey and your practice, this will be helpful. So really, it's about growing your practice in yourself, and really, I'm going to share again my journey, what's worked for me, and through authenticity. And I think that's, as we know, and as homeopaths, that's everything. Just your whole intro and what you just said, Yashi, and um, yeah, like how it all starts there. So a little about me, you just kind of read off my credentials. I know it's boring, you don't want to hear that. So really just I'm so curious. I ask lots of questions and I'm sure the doctors were always annoyed by me. So that's kind of summary of I think as homeopaths and moms why I am doing what I'm doing because I was that annoying mom that asked why? And that's how I found homeopathy. So yeah, I got my CCH about almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy to me. So, again, you can read about my story more of what Yashi has mentioned. I share, again, part of what I'm going to talk about is being open and vulnerable. And I've shared my story very openly online and on my website, and which is part, again, of growing your business, I think, within boundaries. So, always being open and authentic with what I'm sharing. So, yeah, let's start. So, again, this is my experience, and I'm not here to tell you hacks or about going viral or likes or shares, no set rules to follow. to me, that just never resonated. So I've thrown it out the window. So, that to me is like a lack energy. And that really does push business away and community further. That's not a business growth when you're out there. If that's your sole purpose. So it's really about honoring and growing yourself, connecting to our inner knowing, our voice, our heart, and coming from a place of abundance and certainty. So it is growing in a way that feels aligned, calm, and authentic. So that is really key for, again, this is my experience and what has worked and my journey in the social media space, specifically Instagram. That's kind of where more my home is, I guess. Because really, you are your brand. Your brand, your practice, your business is you. And as homeopaths, like that's what that is, any really entrepreneur, your one woman, one man show, it's kind of what we do so that it's all connected, kind of like, again, the relation, as I was writing all this with the homeopathic mindset and understanding homeopathy, how it's kind of the same, it's all one, we're so connected. Um, so again, as we grow ourselves, our practice will grow. So again, I'm not an expert. I'm not here, to tell you what to do or how to do it, just sharing ways I've navigated this space and without feeling disconnected or mistuned, because that's so easy to do. When you focus on and attach to the likes and all that stuff, you actually get pulled, and that does, further away. And even if you do grow and you get likes, it doesn't equate to business. So that's the big thing that I'm going to share as well that I've noticed, when things are not that I've had anything go viral, I don't think, but that doesn't mean more business. It just means more, again, you're more almost attached into that energy of getting the likes and all of that. So really we have to turn inward. And I think we all know that. Oh, let's see. So it all begins within, simply, just kind of like what I say in my practice and what I share online. So in this presentation, and with navigating my space online, um, that's really where it begins. So kind of an overview of what I had outlined. So again, if there's other areas I'd love to hear after, I think we'll have plenty of time to talk. The discomfort, why social media, my journey, specifically reframing the space. Authenticity, of course, is really the backbone of it all. Using it intentionally. Who are you talking to? Reframing of who you're throwing out your information to. Your vibe, what are you bringing with your style, the following the rules, choosing alignment, being human. So that is kind of something we're all lacking, I feel, and not we, but our world and this space of being online, we're just lacking. Humanness, boundaries and burnout, which are so real, whether you're online or not, and especially incorporating the online space. When to step away and what are you measuring? Like, what are you looking at as success? Again, is it the likes and views and all that, or clients? Like, who's coming, who's booking? What I don't do. So, a lot of things that I have found that just organically, innately, just never resonated with me. And then we can talk and hopefully some thoughts from you, or maybe what's working for you guys too. So, the discomfort of being online, I mean, I get it. And I'm going to share my, how I began and stuff too. But, an online presence, it feels unavoidable in today's world. I mean, it is, everything's online and virtual, which again, the pros and cons, and it just is. So we may feel conflicted. It can feel very inauthentic. There's so much noise, like so much, and so much fear, especially in the holistic wellness space. We're out of our wheelhouse. Like, we're not creators, we're not influencers. We didn't sign up for that. So it can feel so daunting. And there's such a pressure to market or to sell or to get, again, this forcing of clients. It can all feel so forced. And that's what we don't want, because that does not bring in business. So it's so natural to feel this. And it's really not part of being, a homeopath. Really, we didn't sign up for that, like I said. But when you slow down and you come from a place of honesty and authenticity, we can become, one with this space. So we can use this space from a place of power versus discomfort. So again, I think many of us struggle with it without compromising who we are. And so it's so easy to lose ourselves. You get your phone and you scroll and 20 minutes have gone by. So it can be a tough place to navigate, but it's not impossible. So to be in line, and everything is online now. So, I experienced this discomfort, and it's only been about the last 5 years, I guess, 6 years, that it really, my business took off from, I think, this online space. So it took quite a while. So again, people can feel, what you're feeling and what you're putting out there. So we can use a space to work for us when we work with it. So again, the power versus force model, which is one of my favorite books. So I had to throw that in there because really homeopathy is so resonant with that, obviously, and versus in our power and using it and working and attracting versus forcing. It's just such different energetics. And so again, taking all of that, and if you don't have that book, I highly recommend it. So true growth is authentic, and this does begin within. Again, this is going to be pounded in, which being a homeopath, I know that is, resonant. Our social media reflects who we are and not who we're pretending to be. So when we get connected or attuned, our presence becomes grounded and trustworthy. So this is what they're feeling, and this is what attracts. So that's everything. And this is what grows our visibility and business. So again, it's starting within and us, and we're grounded in a place. People are going to feel that, and they're going to feel safe in your space or on your page or whatever social media you're using, and they'll just come to you, and then we grow, and again, and that affects our business without it feeling forced. So
Krista, could you share the name of that book again?
oh, it's called Power versus Force.
Thank-
Rich
I'll
Doc.
put it in the chat. Power
Yeah,
versus.
I'll put it to Hawkins. Um, Dr. Hawk, I forget, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, it's great. He has a bunch of them, but it's good. I actually recommend it when I teach my homeopathic classes, because it's not homeopathic, but it just helps get in that mindset of kind of seeing everything. So yeah, this power versus force, people can feel the energy. So, think about it yourself. Do you feel the energy when you're online? I think you do, when you're in people's pages. Can you tell when others are not authentic? When you're being pushed to buy or sell, I think you can feel that. When the message is fueled with fear that you need this or that to function, like it's always icky. I know I feel that. So just trust that, again, that what you're feeling out there, think about that when you go to put yourself out there, what you're giving off and why you're doing it. Because we are our brand, our practice, we are a service, which is us. So always reflect this, like who you're being, not what you're trying to get. So again, this comes inside, from inside, and the content, it will always feel forced if you're not grounded first and aligned. And if you are, it just becomes effortless. So, yeah, it's just again, I'm going to share more and even posts that I've done and how I feel now about things versus I years ago. So clients want to feel safe, people in general, whether they're going to be clients or just wanting to learn. And you never know who you're, again, the word influencer, we're not influencers, but you influence, maybe a mom or someone to take charge or start to see health a different way. So they want to feel safe and trusting of you. They want to feel connected to you and drawn to you. And when you show up as you, fully present, it is effortless. And so if you build it, they will come, that saying. And it's so true. So if you build the foundation of who you are, and the energy that you're bringing, you'll see like a magnet, and again that extends everything in life. And so yeah, just to kind of take that mindset and um, stick with that, as I'm talking and about the energy of an online space. So to be successful on any platform, again, whether you're using, if you're on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, it has to be in a true, authentic way that does not feel forced. And you have to be grounded and connected within first. We must regulate and be present. And why are you doing all the things? Again, all the things. I hear that as a practitioner, everyone comes to you after doing all the things and they're not getting better. And so the same thing, are you doing all these things and posting at a certain time, but you're not growing? And so there's probably likely reasons why. So the energy, again, it's who you're being. Maybe you're doing these posts, or you were told to post, or someone's doing it for you, and your page is full, but you're just not getting clients. So the energy is what's being felt out there. So we must be what we want to attract. So we all know this, like attracts like. So again, reshifting or reframing who you're being. I've learned that growth does not have to be at the expense of losing ourselves. So it's rather an extension, again, of ourselves, our business. Whoops. So why use social media? Again, most clients are online. If not, they'll search online. I mean, our whole world is online. People will just Google. So again, if you're there and you have a presence, it's great that they can. Sorry, I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if I just did something on my page. I don't
It's
see
become a
that.
little smaller, but it's fine.
Yeah,
You
I
can
don't know
still
what
see.
happened
Yeah,
there.
that's fine. You can just keep going. That's okay. Don't worry
Okay,
about it. You
sorry.
can still see it pretty well.
Okay. Sorry, I just need to, I can't see some of my words. Okay. Um, Sorry about that. So yeah, and working with it's like the current times, word of mouth. You maybe if you put something out there and then someone might share it online, they'll share it to their friend or that. So it's just kind of the way our world is. We can educate and share in small little chunks. You can do a little quick post or that. It's not, it's just easy for people to take in. People want quick and easy and simple. They don't want long things. So that's nice. You become more visible. It helps you grow. It helps you get uncomfortable. So again, as much as this has been such a personal journey for me, getting uncomfortable, which again has grown my business because I've become more comfortable. It helps build trust and feel safe before they consult with you. So again, I've had people tell me that they've been following me for a year and it took them that long and they finally booked. So that was so interesting to me that they felt safe, I guess, or they've been following. I just had another, a DM or, they've been following me for months and then they finally reach out. So again, what you're giving it, people have to start to feel that trust. And then you're attracting ideal clients. So again, when you're in a good space and the people are coming, most likely they're ideal. If you're forcing, a lot of times maybe that, the cases won't go well, or the client may not be a good match and there's not as good success if the energy wasn't there to begin with. And again, it's not about selling. So again, to use social media, it's about connection and trust. Like use that for this. The world needs to know about homeopathy. So we need everybody, as much as it's a love-hate relationship. We just need to get homeopathy out there. And I think we all feel, the time is now. Everything is changing. Yeah, and it's just, I think everyone's ready, to hear more about this. So okay. So my journey, I'm going to share kind of how I guess my coming along. And so I was terrified and scared and insecure. And this started off again about my growth than it was for my practice. So my first post, I was just looking, and I'm going to share what that was because I cringe now when I'm looking at it. And it was 10 years ago in February. So it's kind of funny the timing of this. I think it was the end of February of 2016. And yeah, I did it for me. Hadn't, I think I had, well, I did graduate in 2017, so I wasn't even practicing yet. I was still studying, but I wanted to share. I hid literally, like I hid because I had a different screen name, and I think it was called Soulful Glow or something like that. So I wanted to share my thoughts and being so much stuck in me. And I'm like, I wanted to get that out there. And little did I know that your real name could be seen because I thought I was literally hiding and I'd share stuff and it felt freeing because I'm like, no one knows because I had no pictures of my face and all of that. And then someone was like, oh, I love your posts. And I'm like, how did you know it was me? And they're like, oh, because now I can see, your name is attached to your account. So I was so naive. And I think Instagram wasn't what it was now then as it is now, obviously. So much has changed in the 10 years. But so it's just funny for me now to look back. But yeah, so my pace, my style, I wasn't comparing to anything. So I really wasn't in the space myself. So it was all my intention from right from the beginning was just for myself, just and then I became seen. I put my face out there and I changed my name to just my name, like Krista Rivet. And I began to speak and I started to share my story. And then I did my first reel, I think it was 2022. So not that long ago. So those first like 6 years were kind of just again, I was early in my practice too. And I started practicing, again, about 2017. So it just, again, as I grew, my practice evolved. So yeah, it's just funny to me. And then I eventually put the, homeopathy into my handle because I realized that for business, people are searching that name. And so now it's just Krista Rivet Homeopathy. So I wasn't focused on getting clients. I just wanted to get out of my discomfort. I wanted to share so much that I had buried inside. And I felt so called to empower others. Like that's just truly what I feel. And for others to know how powerful they are. And I just felt free. So that right there, like that energy of me coming in, whoever needed that, I think was getting it. So it also helped me use my creativity, as I went along and just so much growth for myself. So I wasn't attached to anything. So that's a big thing too. If you're attached to anything and to the outcome, then you're missing kind of the growth that's happening. And we get fixated on, oh, the likes, the numbers, the clients. And I actually did not care because I was practicing, in person at that point. And I had an office. And then in 2020, things shut down and then it fully went online. So it's just interesting the energy of not being attached, what kind of comes to you. So this is my first post, and I totally laugh. So obviously, it says we are one, and you can see my caption, and energy is powerful, we are one. And I laugh because you can see there's three likes, and one is my daughter. So, and two others. So I laugh now, and you look at the date, it's February 20th of 2016. So to me, it's so funny. So you can see, I'm going to share I mean, I think, yeah, she was sharing my Instagram, but yeah, I just laugh at this now. I look back and it's kind of cathartic going back when I was preparing this to see my old stuff and again how much I evolved and now I cringe looking at this, but it's
10
still there.
years.
So
Wow. 10
what?
years.
I
10 years
know,
exactly
10
this
years.
month.
I know
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
blowing my mind. It's crazy. So my followers and practice grew as a result and a result of my personal growth. So again, I didn't want to I could share my page, but you can go on that if you want and look. I mean, I have a lot of posts. I didn't realize over 10 years is a lot. And it's so funny. And just some books I shared, like I would never now. I don't even like some of the people that I shared, or I just in a different space, but it's all there. And that's part of my growth. And again, my business and practice and online presence has grown because of me working on me. So the more I showed up as me in a grounded, authentic way, the more I attracted. And there's my Instagram handle now. So yeah, if you're free, you can go on it now as I'm talking even and kind of see that. But that I went down and snapshot that first post. So so I became more visible, obviously over the years. And then this post. So um yeah, this is the post. I just made some notes here that I wanted to share about it. Um, was in 2022. So that's when again too I went more online because of COVID and all of that, and my practice went virtually online like every in the world, and I still do now. So it's kind of again a bittersweet and a little bit of a blessing. But I was sharing this, and I wasn't trying to cause controversy or because I truly care, and I'm like part of it is personal, feeling, upset that people are using Tylenol for the way they're doing it. And there was a shortage at the time. I don't know if it was just in Canada or not. And it was all over the news and, people, of course, suppressing and fevers, we all know. And I'm like, oh my God, people need to know more. Like there's another way. So my intent was not to cause controversy or, to put down Tylenol. It was just to say here, and here's the post. So actually it is a carousel. So the next page on this is like remedies to replace. And it was simply again, I wasn't attached. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go put this out there. And I just said but you can see I have 2,000 people that liked it compared to, I mean, 10 years ago with the three people. And this got passed around so much because, I could see, which again, I don't really look at insights. I don't really care, but I was curious because people were DMing me. Like I was like, whoa, things took off and my practice actually took off. So it was just interesting to me again. Um, and this also triggered a lot of people. So that also helped my growth because I don't like that. The confrontation I had in my DMs, doctor, like one woman doctor, especially in Canada during COVID time, was very different than in the States. And wanting to report me for spreading misinformation. And I was dangerous because of this post. So it was crazy. And, now, at the time, I was like, oh, but now I laugh. And so anyway, this helped build me along the way. Again, 4 years have passed. So this post really empowered a lot of moms. So I think a lot of moms came to my practice because they were like, oh, like what is this? Like people had never heard of. So just something as simple as this post that my intent again was out to help people. It took off. And so I was nervous but again, I did it without attachment. Moms loved it and I tracked it. So again, this helped me get more creative. So I actually developed packages at that time for moms and children and being a mom and younger children at the time, or, I have four and they're all ages and I would share that. So again, I'm very vulnerable, like open on my page about what I do. And people loved it. So I put together a package and it took off again. So that really catapulted my online business. So people were intrigued and again triggered by that post. So again, from what I've heard, when things get triggered and online, it spreads more too. The news, or you get more views, I guess. But so yeah, so now I have that package and I've helped so many moms and children. It's been phenomenal. And again, because healing mom first is so powerful. So having that, so that really boosted my of where to go. Again, it just kind of showed me where to go and who needs me and who I need too, and who to help. So reframing. So again, those are just kind of like where I started and laughing at my first post to kind of what took off and how it shaped my business using this space. So we can reframe this space to be, a nice space. So again, I've only ever used Instagram in the place to educate, to connect, to communicate, to be visible, to build trust. Like that's always been how I've seen it. But it's so hard now because there's so much noise out there. So again, Instagram is not a place to like prove or argue or, comparing, a place to perform, to sell, which again, we think of this space and that's because there's so much of that on there. I don't go in and think of Instagram as that to do that. It's almost the opposite. I always feel like if I have a class, I was advertising, I almost felt like, oh, I don't want to like sell it or be salesy. So yeah, kind of the opposite. That's my journey too, is to kind of also step into my business and be here's my class and not feel. So again, I had to shift my energy about that so I wouldn't come across as salesy because I hate to push or make people because I know how I feel, in that space. So this whole space needs humanness now, especially in today's world. So over the 10 years and what's happening online right now, we need humanness so much. We're losing ourselves to AI and selling and fear. It's crazy. So again, authenticity, everything over perfection. So again, just throwing yourself out there and to start, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, we don't want perfect. I think we're all sick of seeing the perfect, what you eat in a day and what I'm wearing in my days. Like no one wants that. So yeah, just to be authentic. So authenticity as the foundation, like this is everything. So again, there's so much noise out there, so much we can't trust in today's world. And when we're authentic, others begin to trust. We need trust. We need trust back in this space. And when there's trust, you have connection, you have more engagement, you have more clients. So show your personal values, communicate like a human. Like how would you talk offline? Talk like that online. Again, which I started that way too. And even my husband would laugh at me because now I've come so far and how I talk, on a reel or just if I'm going to go on a story or, you just kind of have to put yourself like, how would you talk in your office or to your clients or to your friend? People are tired of being influenced and sold things. Like we're so tired and tired of perfect, like I said, and fueled from fear, like so much fear. If you don't do this, you don't buy this, you don't get your red light, you don't get up at 5 in the morning. Like I just is so much fear. People want like they're needing, we need safety, and people are attracted to simplicity and humanness. It is like I feel the shift of things wanting to come back to the basics, of good old normal eating and so many gadgets. We want to bring it back to that. And so if you bring this space, people are going to be attracted to that. So using it intentionally, again, intention is everything. We know that with our energy. So what is your why? I explain and I educate from a place of power and, true knowing. Um, why are you there? Like what, if you haven't started or if you do have a platform, are you to educate? Or you just want to inspire people? Are you just want to express yourself like I started? And even now I still use it because I have so many thoughts or ideas and I just want to get them out there, or all of it. Or are you seeking validation? Are you focused on your likes or followers? And this is how you forget yourself. So step back and reflect on this. If that's kind of, if you're in an insecure space and you just want these likes and to be noticed, is that even helping your business? And is it even helping you, just to get fueled? Like that's where we have to check in and reflect on that. Why are you needing the validation? And we're all there. I mean, I've been there too, when you're like, oh, no one liked it or it must not be good. And again, that's which I'm going to get into, when to step away and take breaks. But we all know the power of attention behind what we do. And your audience will feel this always. Because again, what do you feel when you're in someone's space? If you're following accounts, you can feel if it's true or if they're out to sell you or just there's so much again in the holistic space and the spiritual space and we're all hearing about it now, of maybe not very authentic people. And sometimes you can now felt that all along. So just things to think about when you're entering the space. So again, educate, not convince. So that's a big thing. If you're in the energy of trying to win someone over or why they should use homeopathy or why they're doing is wrong, then that energy, again, you can feel that, no one wants to be told what to do. So if you just educate and share what you feel from a place of empowerment, let the people decide and they'll to choose, and they'll come to you and they'll be the right people. So again, the intention of what you're putting in is everything. So who are you talking to? Again, like think about your audience if you have like a niche or if not, or if it is everybody, at the time, like who is your ideal client? What is your passion? Who think about that when you're going on and not just talking to the wide world, talk or post like you're directing it to them. That energy will expand outward to them. Speak like with them and not at them, in conversations and connection and not lecturing. People need to feel a sense of inner authority and power, and they don't want hacks and fear or acquiring, like, here, buy this, buy that. So again, even if you are practicing, like, you take every client, if you want to do a post on one thing or a story, talk to that person, like a mom maybe, or a postpartum, if you have a post on postpartum remedies, or if that's who you work with, or perimenopause, and kind of visualize you're talking with a woman that needs that, or a man in that space, or if it's mental health, or, and maybe in that energy of that post will hit and land on the right person. So your vibe, again, you don't need fancy images or tiles that all connect. You go to some pages and I'm like, oh, that's so impressive. But again, you don't need that. Again, but if that is you, then do it. So again, is your page you, the color, the font, the style, like aesthetics does matter, but it shouldn't be your focus. So if you're solely focusing on that, then maybe reassess. Again, it's pretty and it's nice, but again, what are they feeling? What are you getting from the page? What really matters, again, is you're consistent of who you are, your vibe, get it simple to the point. We're medical practitioners, so don't be led astray of getting caught up in something else, but make it you. Again, that's very, if you go to my page, it's very minimal. And again, I didn't waste the time because if I have a message, I put it out there, and I just use, a simple app like Pic Collage on my phone. And it's just it's like these slides essentially. And I'll put my message and I pop it out there because I just don't want to waste the time, and it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm neutral and simple. And again, that's my vibe, my energy. So, you have other accounts, other pages that are different, but then that's them. So that's, again, they're matching, like it matches to their page. You're not being something you're not. So keep it simple. Do not overthink it. Following our rules, I talked about that, and I'm like, not a chance. I never did. Again, kind of, in our world, our medical model, algorithms, posting times, trends, all these shoulds and shouldn'ts, I just didn't care. I'm like, no, I'm going to post, if at 10 o'clock at night and I'm on my phone, I have a thought, I posted it. And I didn't know if it was not Wednesday at 9, I'm not supposed to post. Like, so again, we're told that, and if you're stuck to that, then that builds more. It's just not real to me. And maybe, I'm working against the algorithm. I don't know, and it's frustrating, and I don't even know, like, I don't even know what that means, half the time. But if it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. If it does, do it. It's discernment over a following an outside influence. So again, all these rules and blueprints to follow and all these things, it's so individualized. Again, just like we know in homeopathy, it's what works for you, what feels right. And if you're doing that, just the rules, it doesn't matter, if you're posting at certain times, or you have a business coach telling you do this, or you buy all these expensive things of when to post. And again, it may grow, you online, but you might not be getting business. Doesn't mean real growth. So it might, oh, my numbers are bigger and I have more followers, but are you really growing? Again, that's where it might work. And maybe that does. So maybe it is working for you. But just for me personally, I just never got attached to any of that. So again, here's a post I actually did on this topic, and I cut off the date, but you can see it's 103 weeks ago, so about 2 years ago. Sometimes I feel like posting, so I do, and sometimes I don't, so I don't. So I actually posted that again about 2 years ago because I was so sick of hearing, I was in that space of doing this and following the rules, and people had asked me actually, because I had a good following, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't. Like, they wanted me to tell them, oh, post it like all these times, or batch them and send them out all together. Like, I don't know. I just don't. So again, you could read the caption there, and it pretty much sums it up. Authenticity and connection to self is the power. So again, becoming a victim to the model, to the algorithm, the noise, it just fuels more disconnect from yourself. And so in our health and our healing, we know that in homeopathy, but it's the same thing in the online space. So it's never made sense to me to post at certain times. I just couldn't be bothered. So say what you want when you want it, but just mean it. So again, the intention behind it is everything. So choosing alignment over virality, again, if your focus is on going viral, then maybe reassess. Not every trend is for you, and not every audience is yours. So growth should feel calm and aligned, not forced. So again, you don't have to jump on all the trends that are out there, and if it does resonate, then go for it. I know I look back and I had some fun things I did, and it did well because I was in it. Like, now it's not really appealing to me. So if I did it, it would feel forced. Um, so yeah, just again, reassess your energy of why you're doing it. So what to post? So again, what feels right? Again, what are your passions? So show your human side. So this is you know, interesting again, because you can share, what I guess, again, if you're niching in something or what your practice is about. But again, it doesn't have to be, I think that's the whole point again of being authentic. Like, you kind of share different things, but show your human side. I think that's important. And for me, I share personal things. I alternate it with remedies. So I put that again, remedies, because they take off. So it is interesting, if I share something on, like Nux Vomica and share about it and how it can help for home prescribing, it takes off and it has thousands of likes and it gets passed around. And I'm like, oh, those do really well. And, I see all the views and it's like in the thousands and it's so interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean more business. And so then when I share personal things or testimonials or emails or even foods or what I'm making, I seem to get more inquiries because I think that's the trust is there and the humanness and plus I'm sharing educational things. So they know that they know that you know what you're talking about, but you're still showing the human. It's not just all like academia and this, which again, that's interesting. But again, to attract business, I think showing the human side is so important. Um, so again, it's up to you again what feels, but I find I alternate with those often, and try to get in. And again, I don't follow a rule. If I share remedies 3 times in a row, that's what I do. Or sometimes I'll have a great email from a client and I share it because I'm like, oh, people need to read this. So again, be a human. In the world of lack and disconnect, we need humans online. We need authentic humanness more than ever before. So your personal journey, it's okay to be vulnerable. Again, within reason. Don't show up and maybe take a break or, if you're emotional, don't post, wait, but just to be, like I share a lot about my son and his illness and one had cancer and what I went through in my own journey. And so stuff like that, people resonate. Like people want to hear your journey and even what you're going through personally, maybe like right now, more of the perimenopause space for myself. So people resonate and that attracts because I'm in it and I'm living it and I'm authentically sharing my experience and how to manage or how to treat, how to heal, how to support with homeopathy. Personal travel remedies I've done, again, showing a little bit of humanness when I'm traveling, what I pack for my kids, sporting events, sickness, foods, fun stuff. You're just more authentic. So again, within reason. If you go too much, then it's kind of like too much in your personal space. You can kind of pull back. So boundaries and burnout, this is so real and huge in life right now, and especially online. So the last few years, I've felt burnout a lot. And I think as you grow a little more online too, I'm in it more and I could feel I need to get out of this space. And because I'd almost get pulled more of, oh, I should be doing this. And we compare, especially as a practitioner of what other maybe homeopaths are doing or that, or I didn't, or other ways of practicing now and all these different. And I'm like, stay in my lane. I have to remind, I'm like, stay in my lane, get back. And I, have to even maybe mute people or because if it pulls you away from what I'm good at, and I have to remind myself I've been successful and good. And so I'm like, stay in my lane and repeat that. And, get back to the basics of what works for me and I'm successful and I get more clients, even when I'm offline, it's so interesting. When I'm centered energetically and feeling good, all of a sudden I'll get bookings and I'm not even online, but my page is still there. So again, as you evolve and expand, so does your platform and look. So that's okay too. So again, it's okay to evolve and change, but be authentically with it. Again, that's part of your whole human journey and being authentic is evolving. So you can look, even my website, I've revamped and that's okay. You're changing as you change. So when to step away. So again, this is so important. So if you're questioning your practice, if you're feeling like restless and I don't know what to post or you're, insecure, if you're comparing, checking your metrics, if you're checking, oh, these people unfollowed me and you're focused on the 2 unfollows versus 30 or a post didn't do well or, step away. If you're more concerned with likes or views, and you're missing the content, you're feeling triggered. It can be so easy in today's world to feel triggered or competitive. You can't separate your IG space from your real life and you need to step away. And I've done that. And I've been actually quite quiet lately. And my practice is actually, I've had a lot of bookings. So again, it's so interesting. Just sharing really truly when I want it and it's been meaningful. So it's just so important to step away from the noise. It's not healthy, to have that balance in your family life. So again, what are you measuring? If you're focusing on the content and success, followers, unfollowers, trends, views, likes, it's again, it's the wrong thing. Start noticing the quality, of relationships and inquiries that you're getting, respect and trust, referrals. Like, are you getting referrals, again, either online or locally, or, again, it's kind of both. Your client growth, your own energy and sense of alignment. So that's the big one. If something is, you're feeling burnt out, just get offline and don't be like, oh, I have to post. It's 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. I got to get my post out. Like, no, just step away, because it's not, again, the energy that you're in is going to affect. So what I choose not to do, this is, I think, really important. Again, I never have. And I'm also cautious when I kind of feel that in other spaces, is criticize other modalities. I think that's just so important, especially in the holistic space. There's so many modalities and looks at, things that as homeopaths we look at very differently. And if you start to put down, directly, it's just not, it's a negative energy. So you can empower what you feel, or how homeopathy like helps, certain things, ridding the body of certain things, versus attacking and coming in. Like, you can empower and, you know, build up what you believe versus take down someone else. So I think that is so, so important, because you want to be in a positive energy and empowering space. And people will get the message like, oh, that's just another way, or that makes sense, and not actually put down someone else or another way. Copying practitioners, time to realign. If you're kind of like, oh, they did that, I need to do that because I did really well for them. I don't do that because that's not, it's not me, and won't work for me. Over explaining to skeptics, if you have someone come in and, I'm sure you may have all had them, and either just block them or delete, or don't engage. It's just, there's no point. You're not out to convince, and you can be solid. If it's in a comment, you state your, and then leave it. Checking metrics, I don't go in. Sometimes I have, if it's posts, 'cause I'm just curious what's doing, but I'm not. If I catch myself seeing like, oh, who followed or who did this, then it's kind of like, okay, I need to step back. Engaging in trends that are not me, you don't have to get sucked in. Engage with negativity or debate, I don't bother. Share my personal opinions. I want to keep my space as a business page, and I really want homeopathy to have, to be taken seriously and as a medicine that it is. And, again, to get a personal page. If you have other views, or it starts, especially now in today's world, everyone has the personal thought on something, get a personal page or do it somewhere else. But if you, keep it nice and clean and business and professional, while being authentic, without bringing anything like political, religion, all like whatever's happening right now. You don't need to bring that into the homeopathic space. Again, do it on a personal page. Answer everyone in your DMs. Like, I don't, because if it's an inquiry, direct them to my email, because again, that's more professional. It's easier because I don't want to be stuck on Instagram and it gets buried so fast. So it's not professional. So if I do have any client or anyone, I ask them to email me, please. And a lot of DMs are asking you for remedies. Oh, what do I do? My son has this, or I have this for, like, can you help me? Like, again, we all know everyone doesn't get it. So I've just stopped answering them, and I don't feel bad because, it depends. Again, it depends on the inquiry, and otherwise it's just a lot of noise in there. And people just keep asking and trying to use you. And then again, that energy again, which could be a whole other conversation, is about giving away for free, and we all want to help. And I've been there and I've been burnt out. And again, boundaries have to be set because it's not for free. So using fear-based energy, I don't use that. Like, if you do this, do that. Post when it's aligned, not for the sake of posting. That is just so important. So again, if it's not aligned, pause. If you're emotional or triggered, maybe wait. You don't have to become an influencer to chase, compete, or keep up. It's all forcing. We don't want that energy. We want to educate. We want to share. We want to empower. We want to tell our story and trust if it feels right. Does it feel right to you? If it's something is icky in there, just hold off. Does it represent how you would practice in real life? So again, just think about that. So again, connecting with yourself first, returning to yourself. Don't be louder, be real. Let your heart lead. Post from alignment, not obligation. And again, there's no formulas, no blueprints to follow. Even though the space can feel overwhelmed, when you really kind of come back, it's, step away, often mute, do what you have to do to kind of silence it, because it is a lot. Boundaries, you just need to put boundaries into place. Consistency, patience, authenticity, this is what compounds over time, and your practice will grow as you do. So social media and IG, again, that's where I am, needs your presence. So our world needs you, us. We don't need more hacks or fear, no more selling, not trendy dances or videos. I mean, it can be fun. I do think they're fun. And I mean, we've done them with remedies and things like that. So yeah, it's all great. But again, don't don't feel like, oh, I have to do that, or I can't be in this space, or don't do it if it feels weird. Don't be a slave to the algorithm. Again, your voice, your message, it's authenticity that we want. So use it as a tool, again, to extend yourself and your wisdom and your offerings. And literally you will attract. It's amazing, how much my practice has just grown just from me throwing out there what I love. So yeah, again, basically summing it up there. And again, I think Yashi was putting that in the chat, but there's all my information. So yeah, I would love anyone after two to connect, email. It's just great to connect with other homeopaths, and we're all kind of in the same situation here. So yeah, I hope that, I don't know where you are in everybody's practice, or where, if you are online or not, but again, just using what has helped me and my growth. And again, you can go see how my page has changed over the years, but
Thank you so much, Krista. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to, yeah,
oh, there.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody can now actually unmute and we're going to open it up for discussion. If you have any questions, I remember when I first spoke to you, Krista, you were like, I don't know what I'm going to say. This is exactly what, and this one thing that I want to say, like I've spoken to so many people. We started these happy hours about, it's been about 4 years now. We try to do 3 to 4 of them every year. And I've spoken to so many people, and I want to tell you the humility that I saw in you, I've not seen in anybody else. Like, I don't think
Oh,
you realize what you bring to the table. Like, you are
oh,
amazing.
thank
And
you.
we really, really thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing with us. And to all of the CCHs who are here, this is your safe space. This is our happy hour. If you think that you have something to share with the fellow CHC community, please reach out to us, email us, tell us your topic, and we'd love to have you, because this is what this space was. This is what we thought about when, as a PR committee, we came up with this idea to have this, quarterly happy hour. It was just for us CCHs to get together informally, share with each other, what worked in our practice, what didn't work, so we can empower each other and build the community up. So thank you so much for being here. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask Krista any questions that you might have.
Okay, Krista, can you hear me okay, by the way,
Yes.
because I have
Yes,
Hi.
yes,
AirPods in?
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes,
No
yes,
problem.
Hi.
yes.
Well, I have about 50 questions for you, so I'll keep it to a minimum. And as a millennial, I'm like super comfortable in social media, but for
Oh,
some reason within my practice, I'm a newer homeopath, and I haven't gotten quite the momentum, but I do love it. And I love how much it can kind of broadcast what's possible with homeopathy. So kind of my two
yeah.
questions for you. One is around what you were saying when people kind of DM you for remedy recommendations. I don't have thousands of followers, so I feel kind of compelled to respond to them at this
Yeah.
point, but it's that I'm not giving away information for
Yeah.
free. Like, you're welcome to book an acute, but it's awkward to say that, right? So I'm kind of curious, when you said you dealt with that in the past, kind of what a canned response was. And then my second question for you is around momentum. I just feel like, working part time, having a practice, having kids, it's like when I just think about posting, it just like is overwhelming for me, which is odd because, again, I'm creative, I'm a millennial. So,
Yeah.
like, how do you just kind of get that momentum?
Yeah.
And you said you don't batch, you tend to just kind of randomly post. So, I'd love to kind of know how you, yeah, get that momentum.
Yeah, well, the first thing, I totally get it too, like with the DMs, because again, I used to worry again, which is my growth. I'd feel bad, like, oh, I have to help everybody, and rude, and I just would explain. Now I do get some, like, a lot of them go into requests. I don't even see them, but yeah, I would just explain how I can't do that, unless you're in clients, like, unless you're a client, I can't. And even then, I don't like to deal with clients in Instagram. But yeah, you can just politely say, this is not, I explain that it's not how it works. You need a full consult. And most people don't understand that because they don't get it, right? They just want the remedy for this. And either off they go because they want the quick answer. Or I sometimes, it depends if it's on a post that I've shared about, I'll kind of say, oh, you might want to consider these remedies. But yeah, if you just politely say it requires a consultation, and leave it at that and say, again, or explain why. Again, as in homeopathy, we don't look, to keep it short. But yeah, I know it's hard because people are demanding too in there. I mean, you don't see a face. Like some people can come in and you can almost feel, again, talking about energy, their tone or they're rude. And I'm like, I just don't answer now. And so I feel proud because I'm building up better boundaries. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to answer and give you that. So yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I think you'll get there with that. And then the momentum, it is so hard because I have 4 kids and it took me like a long time to get to finish school because I had a fourth baby during that time too. And now she's 12, 13. So it's just been, I get it, my whole time. But then that's also being authentic because I would share where I am in that moment on a post, like something that would come up, like, maybe like even now I was going to share my daughter was sick, what remedy, and I'm so tired right now that I didn't. Like, I just have so much I want to share and I'm so exhausted that I just don't have the capacity. So I don't. But yeah, I know, but I have a better, it has built up. But at the beginning, I would just in the moment, like kind of what is relevant and use that because you're being real and people will feel that. So, however your older kids, if you're, going through or treating them or something that you did, like you could share on that without being too personal. You don't want to overshare because no one wants that either. But so again, keeping a boundary of because the people will feel it's real, like, oh, she did this and her kid was up, or like, I'm so tired today, or here's for, again, without again that fine balance of sharing too much where people could go start treating themselves for chronic things, but it's more home prescribing that I do that. So yeah, I think you'll just get it. But yeah, I think if especially you're being comfortable in the space, again, being more authentic, like actually show you and what you're doing in that moment of as creating a post in that, like whatever it is, if that helps answer that.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, yeah, detaching from I have to, which I get at the beginning too. You do feel that. But again, that's the whole point of at what cost, you're going to burn out rather than have one good post of that's truly authentic might hit a lot more people than posting 5 times a week that are just for the sake of it.
Krista, can I ask?
Hi.
Hi, thank you for this. Very nice.
Yeah, you're
You
welcome.
said you mentioned an app you use for quick posts from
Oh,
your phone.
yeah. I don't even know how I found it, and it's just so easy. Pic collage.
Pic collage.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot more. I've been using this for like probably 10 years. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like old school. I just kind of use, and I open it and it's just a background. And you can quickly type stuff and then I'll screenshot it and share it as a post.
Okay.
So it's just like, again, the point, like I've gone into Canva sometimes, but I just couldn't bother. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because it's just, for
I
me,
use
again,
Canva. It feels like a lot. Sometimes you
I mean,
just
I
want
use
to.
my slides, like I made my thing on Canva. I like Canva,
Mhm.
but it just seemed more tedious to have to go because I don't have that on my phone. So I'd have to go
I
online
don't.
or on my
Right.
computer and do it. And I'm like, oh, if I get a download or a thought, I'm like, oh, and then and those seem to do well because I'm not
Yeah.
attached. I'm like, oh, I just need to say this. And you can see
Mhm.
from my stuff, it's very simple and to the point. Like that'll just come to me. And I'm like, oh, and then I write my thing and those do well. And when I'm trying, like there's been times where I'm like, oh, I need to be relevant and put something out and it doesn't do well. So it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions? I think you covered everything. Yes, Rupali, go ahead.
So you started out your first slide, you said that you were hidden and you had a name
Mhm. Yeah,
that wasn't you, right? Like just something.
yeah,
I think I'm there, like in that
yeah.
space. And I would love it if you said a little bit about how you made yourself come out into the open. Like how did you travel that wanting to be
Yeah. I mean, it's been
versus
over 10 years,
open?
right? Like it was,
I know, but it's like for those of us who are looking at this and knowing that we have a lot to share, and the only way that you can share with a lot of people is to be out there. But
yeah.
I really like being back here.
I know. Oh, I know. Me too. That's why even to do this, I was going to say no, Ashley, at first, because I'm like, no. And then I was like,
They
no,
wear
I
people
commit.
down. It's difficult to say no to me, I've heard. That's why they put me in this
But then I
place.
committed again to get uncomfortable. I'm like, I need to do this because I knew I wanted to, but that fear part instantly was like ready to say no because it's so easy just to hide. But I'm so tired of it. So that's my journey because you get sick of your own stuff. And I'm just like, no, I'm done. People need, because I get told so much, you need to share more. And I just might doubt myself so much. And so that was my journey. So again, hiding literally behind this name that I created.
Right.
Now I laugh at, but yeah, it did take time. And I think just, I don't know, again, through homeopathy too, of course, helping, seeing my homeopath over the years and helping break through stuff. But um, yeah, I mean, again, where you're at. So don't force it, but at the same time, you do have to get uncomfortable. So, like, maybe just do a picture and say, like, hey, or do a story because they kind of come and go. I was terrified. I remember I used to reach out to people like, how did you do that? How are you putting yourself out there? And now I just do it. I don't think about it. And I know it's for me to say that, it's crazy that I'm actually saying that because was the same, and someone would tell that to me. So even a story, like if you're on Instagram or what it is, you can just talk but again, thinking about it's kind of easy almost because you don't think, oh, I'm talking to hundreds of people or thousands. You don't know you are because you're just talking to your screen. So kind of, and also maybe visualize or think who you're talking to, like a friend, or like I said, a post if it's for moms to help with their kids for feet, like kind of direct that energy like you're actually talking because I think it'll land on those people.
I think
Um,
that, yeah, that's helpful actually.
yeah, and so kind of and to take it small again, or you could rip the Band-Aid off and then you'll feel good. I
Yeah.
know. I mean, I feel you. I get it. And again, it's just been so gradual. And I have to remind myself how far I've come too. Like I feel, because I get hard on myself still, like I should be doing this and doing more. And now I'm like, I look back to where I was and it's been a long time, but it's been a lot of growth. So
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
sharing and
you're
for being
welcome.
come today. That's
So
right.
we are almost out of time, but we can take one more question if anybody else has a question.
Oh, mhm.
Yes, go ahead.
That's me, yeah. So I want to know that maybe, I mean, tell me if that happened. Didn't happen. Did it ever happen to you that someone has a question about, let's say he wants to know, did you ever treat this, such and such condition? And no, like, did you ever treat someone that has this kind of pain in their face that they can't move it? So I know that I know how to go about it, about the case if I got it, but no, I didn't actually have that, you know,
Yeah.
that specific condition yet. How do you handle such thing when it happens? If, right? Am I clear?
Yeah. No, and I haven't really yeah, I've had questions of that. Like, have you treated this? So again, I'll actually educate and say, well, in homeopathy, we don't treat the name, we treat the person who has it. And I have not had a person with that. I have said, I'm not going to lie and say yes,
Right,
because,
right, right, right.
again, yeah, we could take the case and probably and treat
Absolutely. Yeah.
it, but I don't want
Right.
to lie and be, again,
For sure, for sure. And
so
just what's
I've
the
just
yeah,
been, yeah, upfront, and then they'll choose, which again, there are maybe homeopaths that have seen a lot more of that or whatever it is. But
right.
yeah, I've just, again, education, I take the time now. I find that I've grown because people, I would just quickly say no. And now I'm taking the time to, like, I really want to educate people because I think people want, like in our world now, like they
Mhm.
want to understand and to know more. But yeah, I've just I would say like I would be honest, I guess, but also say, in homeopathy, the name kind of, and kind of educate in that way too.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I have one
Thank you.
question which is in the text, and the question is from Mariana. She wants to ask you about Facebook. Like, what about
Oh,
Facebook, or do you recommend mostly Instagram, or do you just
yeah.
post on both?
I mean, I have an account, so I left Facebook around 2020 because I couldn't take it. So I canceled my whole personal account and left it. So I had a page though. So I'm not on Facebook, but I do. And so Instagram is connected. So it just goes through to that, but I don't actively go on there. So it just takes my stuff. So I don't personally, I didn't want to be in that space. Just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Um, I just like Instagram better. And I know some people love TikTok more. Again, I've never been on it. I mean, I've seen a bit on it, but I haven't had an account or anything. But I think I know a lot of homeopaths are on Facebook for sure because they have a lot of groups. And so it's good for that. So I have a business page. So I do have it. Again, it's not my personal page. So I have the business that my Instagram goes through. And at one point I created a group. Because I had all these ideas, and this was maybe like 8 years ago, a group to start. And it was just too much work. I didn't have the capacity again, being a mom and kids. And I'm like, why am I doing that? And it just felt not right. So I didn't. I'm just not on Facebook, but I think I know a lot of homeopaths are there and they seem very successful with running groups and things like that, or it's more of a community, you can go in and versus Instagram isn't that community vibe. So I guess it'd be good for that if that's something that, you're wanting or you like. I just personally, I'm not in that space. So
There's lots of thank yous in the chat. I'm just going to read two of them and then we'll sign off. Thank you, Krista. Love the message you're bringing to us about this space. And then thank you very much. Really enjoyed this webinar. And I thank you on behalf of CHC for taking the time to share with us, being your authentic self. I think the message was amazing. And I think what I loved was that you have to put in it without looking for the result. And that's actually the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, Rupal, you'll agree, right? That you do your duty, like you put it out there, but don't like do it because you expect something in return. If you put
Yeah.
it out with that energy, it's gonna come. Don't
Yeah.
do it because you're looking for the results from it. That
Yeah.
message was just amazing.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
I've experienced both. Like
Yeah.
I've witnessed it and felt both because I've been in that space. We're
Yeah.
human, you know, the insecurity and needy and it just doesn't, it's not good, you know?
Yeah.
So when you're aligned, it's so amazing. It's so powerful.
Yes. Thank you again so
Oh, you're
much,
welcome. Thank you, everybody,
Priti.
for coming.
And everybody we put in her email address, her Insta handle. Please feel free to reach out to her if you have any questions that weren't answered today or you didn't want to ask in front of everybody. I'm sure
Yeah,
Krista
for
will help you
sure.
guide you. Yes. Thank you so much again, everybody, and have an amazing
Okay.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, everybody.